Devil Hunters Chainsaw Man Chapter 139, titled "A Chair's Feelings," reveals the Sword Devil's real name. Are the hybrids being controlled once again? And is Denji going to join the Chainsaw Man Church? By the way, thank you for 80,000 subscribers. Oh my god, you guys are so good to me. Thank you for being along this crazy journey. And come here. Don't let anyone tell you, but if we hit 100,000 before the end of the year,
I may or may not wear a
Makima outfit for an entire month covering these reviews. My fate is in your hands. Anyway, let's take it from the top as we see Swordman answer Denji's rhetorical question by explaining that he was the sword hybrid that was once under Makima's control. Denji, acting a little confused, reveals to Swordman that he wasn't Chainsaw Man that he fought during that battle before leaving for school. Okay, this was basically 90% confirmed last week. This guy was the Swordman that joined along Makima and the other hybrids in that battle against supposedly Chainsaw Man. It wasn't Chainsaw Man. That's why Denji didn't really know how to respond because, well, it was Pochita. As we can recall from that battle, from the final arc, it was Denji with Pochita being that distraction for Makima. In school, Swordman is revealed to be a transfer student named Miri Sugo, revealing that he's athletic, good at playing a piano, and doesn't really want to make friends. As he sits down, he's surrounded by a group of girls who start to bother him, but this, of course, angers Denji because, as you can see here, well, despite him being a bit of a bad boy, it's still attracting the girls nevertheless. Later outside, Denji tries to interrogate Miri, only for it to be revealed that Fumiko is with them, sitting on his back. But the most interesting revelation, Miri reveals that the weapons hybrid are aligned with the church and they're offering him a high position to join. Fumiko points out that it's a little odd that the Chainsaw Man Church wants to give Denji a high position within the Church of Chainsaw Man, but not let him be the leader, which is a bit odd. And I think we can all make a good educated guess as to why that is. But with Miri not really having a good answer to that, he does say that Denji can basically choose what missions he gets to go out on, get paid, and eat steak every day, which is a nice callback from what Denji told Kishibe in part 1, where he wanted to have steak every day. Now, he is content and honestly happy with the relationship he has with Nayata, where, hey, he gets to eat ice cream every day and gyoza. So even though that may not be steak, it is a little bit tempting, as we can see if that is enough to drive Denji's position to join the Chainsaw Man Church, but we'll discuss that a little later. Anyway, the biggest thing we have to discuss is that the weapons will play a major component in part 2, and as I said in last week's chapter, that definitely makes sense. If the King of Terror is gonna come and wreak havoc on mankind and basically summon primal fears like the Falling Devil, how do you combat that? We need strong allies. Yoshida's not gonna be enough, Kishibe's not gonna be enough, but the weapons on the other hand definitely provide a fighting chance. But this makes things a little bit confusing because if the weapons are in the Church of Chainsaw Man Society and we got the fake Chainsaw Man and Haruka basically being the faces of it, well, along with Asa as well, then what I would like to propose for you guys is Fami controlling these hybrids directly or indirectly. We know Fami's very powerful to control even someone like her sister Yoru, and the whole being controlled by being starved, that is a very nuanced word, right? Like, sure, it could be being starved physically, but it could also be starved in all these other departments, being starved emotionally, being starved mentally. We don't really know the extent of what that means when Fami says I can control people once they're starved. Now, there is some little hints that indirectly implies that the weapon hybrids are doing this at a free choice, because Miri later on tells Denji that, you know, it's a shame you won't join because you can get all the girls that you want. And one of the hybrids we know is Quan Chi, who Quan Chi lost basically all of her harem. And I bring her up because Quan Chi isn't one to take any commands from anyone, but considering her life's motto is ignorance is bliss, and she just wants to be living a carefree life, if that means she has to go on a few assassination hunts for the sake of the Chainsaw Man Church and in return she can get a harem of women, then I think that could be a funny element to reintroduce her into the story. But her taking commands from Fami is a bit questionable. But the more important thing is, now that Denji is going to join the Chainsaw Man Church, Reze is going to come back, and a lot of people reading the comment section last week were like, I'm really about Reze joining up with Denji, but Asa's here in the mix, and I really want Asa and Denji to be a thing as well.
Listen!
Denji and Asa are most likely going to get together at some point, but Reze may unfortunately be the collateral damage, which would also break our hearts once again. And you know, that's something Fujimoto loves to do, grab our expectations all the way up only for him to smash them down and shatter it all to pieces. But the insight that Katana Man is there, that the flamethrower hybrid is there, that the whip hybrid is there. What is Fami proposing? You know, we have to keep in mind at the end of the day, the Chainsaw Man Church, for the most part, is just a group of like teenage kids. So why would the hybrids really join this organization in the first place? But the other question, what happened after the defeat of Makima with Denji and all those hybrids right then and there in part 1? You would think that public safety would have gathered all the hybrids back and somehow manipulate or keep them as weapons, right? Like one of the little loose theories in part 2 is Kishibe's whereabouts, and is he kind of keeping things close, or is Fujimoto keeping things close to his chest in regards to Kishibe, because he's gonna come out of nowhere with the hybrids under his control? And that would have been a really nice dynamic from, you know, Makima controlling them to now having someone who has maybe not a pure of heart, but you know, someone like Kishibe to rally and tell the hybrids what to do. But if going off of what Mary said, that the weapons are a part of the Chainsaw Man Church, then they are indirectly working for Fami. And is this something Fami has over Yoshida and public safety? To me, I certainly think so. Anyway, another thing I want to discuss, how Mary is aware of Denji's past with Makima and that he was in a similar boat of being controlled and taking orders until Denji was able to set himself free. This is why Mary joined the Chainsaw Man Church, to freely commit his mind and body to a cause he's grateful for, and that Denji should do the same. Fumiko asks if he's certain if the church isn't taking advantage of him as well, only for him to retort by saying that Chainsaw Man being used as a chair feels wrong. But of course, Denji says, well, I like the feeling of butts on my back, and you know, you can't really blame the man. And that's one of the other things too that I really like about this conversation that Fumiko is having with Swordman. Are you being controlled? Like, are you really free, right? Like, you literally moved from a different town to recruit Denji, and you're telling me you're not being manipulated here, right? Like, is he being manipulated here? Absolutely. Does he see that? No. Another thing I want to discuss is that Mary actually says here that he was in control of Makima. So all of the hybrids are aware of what happened, which is why the interactions between all the weapons and Denji, either next week or in these upcoming chapters, are going to be really interesting to see. Anyway, after that entire conversation, Mary becomes frustrated because Denji doesn't want to end up joining the Chainsaw Man Church, and then this is where he proposes that, hey, you can get all the women that you want. And because Denji made a contract with the teleportation devil, he quickly teleports from point A to point B to set the Chainsaw Man Church. You know what? On second thought, I thought long and hard about it. I will go ahead and join up for them for righteous and moral reasons, right? Or maybe just to befriend Mary, which I think Denji having another colleague, right, since Aki's gone, and you know, just having a bro friend, right, could be really good for him. But this is all setting up Denji interacting with the weapons. And yes, that was a joke that Denji made a contract with the teleportation devil. Denji did not do that. Just look at the panel. He just ran really fast from point A to point B. I think a lot of people might be like,
Wait, but is this the real Chainsaw Man? How did he get from point A to point B?
sometimes I feel like with Fujimoto's writing, you have to look at the nuances and the context of what's happening here. This is just a comedic scene, nothing more, nothing less. But there's so much to discuss later on today in the live discussion. So if you'll join me, go ahead, click on this video right here.